Well, hello everybody, and thank you for watching Nicole and my show. We have now actually on schedule this time, right? We're actually so from the last time, we kind of had a few weeks in between where we weren't on because of sickness and stuff for both of us, but we're here. And welcome everybody. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Jer. Hi, everyone.
I hope everybody is having an amazing spring. We got lots to talk about tonight, and really excited to share with you guys. How have you been, Nicole? How's your last couple of weeks been?
Um, it's been really good actually. Um, it's been great. I've had a few I've had a few tests and some lessons come in, but it's been all good and some pretty cool rewards, but the energies have been really strong. So I've been definitely noticing that.
They have been, and so we've talked about several times that this energy has been very kind of heavy in a sense. And I don't know what it was last week. Or it was a couple of days ago where I texted you and I was like, I feel like everything is a little lighter right now. And of course, I know that lighter doesn't necessarily mean that we're not being hit with lessons. It just means that maybe it gives us a little bit of a break for a second, or it's a little smoother than it normally is. But right about that time is when more stuff seems to come in, like very shortly after that too. So,
Yeah, well, we also have Uranus moving into Taurus on the 15th, which is also a new moon. And I'm actually going to do a video on that this week, I think, about that. So, Uranus is a very slow moving planet and brings a lot of sudden change. So, there's going to be some interesting stuff happening pretty soon. And the new moon too is a big deal. So for it to all be happening at the same time, I think people should pay attention to that as well. On the 15th, there's another energy wave coming in. So there's a lot happening on May 15th.
absolutely. When we got these milestones, we have a 5-5, then 5-15, and then 6-16, 6-6, that kind of stuff. And these are different. It's because of the way the energy comes in. Big one in history has been 12-12-12, 11-11 and 11. A lot of you guys probably remember those days. And then we have what over this last year we had 8-8-18, the Lion's Gate.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot to think about, or a lot to process, or a lot to work through. And I know a lot of people out there have been going through, like to the point to where they're being pushed to the edge, I guess is the basic way to put it, is that life and all the things, it seems like everything bad is happening to them. There's people out there that are going through that. And one of them is a close friend of mine that's going through it to the fullest extent. And, some would say that, why is she manifesting this? And I don't know if it's a manifesting. I think it's just like, she's also a master energy. And, interesting part about master energies is that, they come in to really be not only the example, but they also come in to really experience this to the fullest and really be able to master it on a different level. And you have to remember there's like different levels as the soul. Like we keep on going through these different experiences, and sometimes it's the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And the reason being is because we can refine that over and over and over again. So we're becoming that fine-tuned machine or tool, or I guess I don't know how to word that.
Also, it's important to understand that we have soul contracts.
Yes.
And there's certain lessons that we've set up for us to learn. And so if we feel like something's happening to us and we feel like maybe we've done something to manifest it because it's kind of shitty, a lot of our golden nuggets that we retrieve are through like the really dirty lessons of where we have to get really, go into our shadow self and do a lot of digging through the dirt. And those are planned. So sometimes it's not about what you're manifesting, but really what's been pre-planned for you so that you learn the lessons that you've chosen for this lifetime.
Yeah, yeah, and that's kind of your soul that says, hey, I want to come in and make sure I experience this because I want to make sure I get this on a deeper level.
Yeah.
And so that's hard as well to comprehend, because and the hard thing is that we go through all this stuff and then we're like, why is this happening to me?
I
And
know.
it's and it's difficult to see it as an opportunity, because it hurts, or it's causing a lot of anxiety and that kind of stuff. But when you can really kind of appreciate it when you look back and say, wow, I got through all that.
Yeah.
That was pretty incredible. So
It never feels good in the moment.
no, no, it really doesn't. And
No.
luckily we have friends that we can call up, that we can trust, that don't judge us.
Yeah.
Find a friend that you can trust that doesn't judge us. And I called Nicole up. I'm like, all right, so I know I'm being petty right now, and but I just have to get this out, and I call it Queen Patricia inside of me that's gone, now that was not even correct what you just did. And so, but at the same time, there's another part of me that says, no, let it go, let it go. But sometimes you have to let that part of yourself just play it itself out, because it causes an experience. And like you said, like Nicole said, your soul said, hey, I want to go through this experience, and you grow
Yeah.
from it. So
Yeah. And like, gosh, we're all human. We all have weak moments, and it's great to have friends who won't judge us and allow us just to be what we need to be in the moment. And we may know better. We may know it's not the best, way to handle it. But hey, we've all got to honor ourselves. And in the moment, if you gotta be a little petty, it's okay. It's okay. You know.
I started using the word petty so much because at my last job, me and my coworkers would be like, that was petty. And it was a joke between all of us. And we would go into these meme wars on email with little pictures of like different people being like, what that look like, they're being petty. And it was funny. And we had a lot of fun with it, but it just kind of caught on, because in my book, I actually talk about, how we'll look at somebody and say, that person's just being a drama queen. But then you have to stop and you have to look at yourself. When in your life, there's been times in your life when you've been a drama queen, where people will say, well, not like that. And that's when you have to say, well, now you're just being petty, because like when we start like going into, like, if somebody will say, well, they're a liar. I'm like, you've never lied before? Well, not like that. Because we have to try to compare ourselves and make ourselves feel better about ourselves. No, you lied. It's okay. You can just admit it. You lied. You made a mistake. You got scared. And why do we lie? We lie because we get afraid of consequences, or what is going to be said. We've lied to ourselves, and we don't even realize we're lying to ourselves sometimes. And I mean, like, these are things like I posted, Nicole, I don't know if you remember this a few weeks ago, I actually posted, I posted something about, I was at my LASIK surgeon's office, and I said, there was somebody, I looked at it in my mind, I was like, what the hell are they thinking? And then I laughed at myself, because I immediately had this a moment of, just let that go, because you're being judgmental. And then I giggled, and I was like, how many times, if anybody knew the thoughts that were going on in our head, we would just giggle, because it's a constant thing going on in our brain. And somebody said, not me, I'm thinking about the development of the world and thinking about 50 years in the future and all that stuff. And I thought, maybe, I mean, that's true, but everybody I know, and I've met some pretty enlightened people, they have their moments. And we all have this mind chatter going on. And so, if it's in consciousness that, we're constantly in struggle, or we're constantly making judgments, then all of us are experiencing that at some level. And it's okay. It's like Nicole said, we're all human, And
Yeah.
so,
And it's important to kind of let it come out, because if you suppress it and you try to be, who you think you're supposed to be in that moment, or act the way you think you're supposed to be acting, then you're fighting what needs to come out. Just let the emotions rise up, release it, so that you can move on from it, and you don't have to hold on to that. So honoring our feelings in the time, and we get better at it as we go, hopefully.
I just want to say hello to my friend Topher, who's watching. I haven't seen him in many years, but He's watching us right now, so I just thought I'd say hi
Hi,
to him.
Topher.
So all good stuff, all good stuff. Um, so I think what were some of the other things we were? Oh, what were we talking about? I was talking about how we were talking about how sometimes we have to let things go, or let them leave our life. I think that was what we were talking about before we went on live. And so one of my greatest lessons probably this year, and I'm learning it on such a deeper level, is this. And yeah, I totally we learn this lesson over. So if you're sitting there when I'm talking about it and you're saying, well, I've already learned that lesson, well, just say, roll with me for a second, because we can learn it on a deeper level. So I had some amazing things happen this year, but it came with some things that hurt. And I've talked about that at the beginning of the year. But now when I look back and really ponder it, I realized that as I was going through these things, I was like, yeah, the hurt was there, but I was also like, this is, well, what's the next thing that's going to happen? Like, what's going to cool that's going to happen? And when I look back, I would not be where I'm at right now if those experiences hadn't happened. If I hadn't left my job in July, gone to work with Stillness in the Storm for 6 months, left Stillness in the Storm, had 2 months really off of work, doing nothing, getting this job that I'm at, I wouldn't be going to New York in 3 weeks, which I'm going to be going to Manhattan in 3 weeks, seeing a friend of mine that I'm her child's godfather, and I'm going to get to hang out with her on a Sunday. I'm super excited, and I haven't seen her in probably like 15 years. And all these like cool things are happening. And even like people that friends that are like leaving, my roommate moving out, and then realizing that my whole creative self has just been in full tilt. And if most people didn't understand, like my creative mind, like I'm super creative. I was not there. I mean, like I wrote my actual book, Peace Be Still, at work, and I did it in about 2 months at work. Like, but I haven't been able to do that kind of stuff. And then I was telling Nicole, I did this lecture last week, and I have 5 journals of research that I've been doing since 2012, and I've technically been researching this particular subject, which is about symbolism and the awakening of the body with the pineal gland and all that other kind of stuff since 2008, and opening up the light body and all that kind of stuff, and the process of how to do it and understanding what to do in order to be able to do it. And so, and so I'm trying not to talk too much here, but I'm just super excited about the fact that if you just let go, and you don't even necessarily have to let go, as you go through it, the energy will move things out of your life when they need to be moved out. But what happens is we try to grab onto it or latch onto it and say, no, don't go, or no, I needed that job. And oftentimes if you've ever been fired from a job, people get upset about being fired from a job, and sometimes it's the biggest blessing that ever happened to you. And so, like, things just happen exactly in the order that they're supposed to.
And it creates space for more to come in that needs to come in, but it's unable to by being attached or holding on to those things.
Yeah. And so I just think that we just go through, we've just got, your mind has to expand in a sense to where you can say, hey, one of the things that I love is to say is when something changes in your life, you say that or better. Or, the old saying that when one door closes, 3 more open up. Now, I love my friend Sheila's saying, she says, yeah, but sometimes the hallway's a bitch. One door closes, 3 more open up. And yeah, sometimes the waiting time in the, the moment where you have to wait in the hallway, it feels like it's a nightmare. Like we were talking about earlier, that it's never easy in the moment, but it's just really, really cool stuff.
No, absolutely. It really sucks in the moment because you're experiencing all the pain, you're experiencing that kind of, a lot of times there's trauma, whether it's emotional or mental, whatever it is, but the reality is that when you go through it, it's providing the opportunity to take major leaps forward in your growth. Because when these things happen, it's because you're on the cusp of a major leap forward. And it's always, although it doesn't bring much comfort in the moment, it does help to know that something big is coming. Because that wouldn't happen if there was. A lot of times, breakdown needs to happen in order to rebuild. And that's what this whole thing is about. We're constantly rebuilding ourselves into with a stronger foundation. You know, whether it's a stronger foundation of honor, a stronger foundation of respect, a stronger foundation of love. We're always, you know, this idea of constantly seeking outside of ourselves or having everything outside of ourselves to either validate or you know, anything for that. When we're having all these breakdown moments, because it's giving us those opportunities to start building that stuff within us, so that no one can ever take that away from you. When you build your foundation within, no one can ever break it down. So that's always really nice to know. But of course, in the moment, doesn't bring that much comfort. I mean, I just kind of went through something a few weeks ago where I had gone through quite a bit of anxiety and had a situation come up where I just thought something was perfect and then it completely fell apart, and it was very disappointing, but it was a test. And it also, because I honored myself, I was rewarded in less than 2 days later, less than 48 hours later, I was rewarded with what I knew was truth, what was meant for me. And so there's times where, you know, we can go through the moments and honor those emotions, but, you know, don't stay there too long, and do whatever you can do to get yourself out of that funk. So whatever it is, you know, if you need to listen to fun music, if you need to have like a mini dance party, if you need to go outside, maybe you just need to scream in your car, like whatever it is, just to kind of like take you out of that funk. Like, it's so helpful just to do it so you can switch the frequency and start changing your reality so that you're not staying in that lower place.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I just did that kind of letting go, and I haven't necessarily had a chance to talk to you, but I did some letting go, and there was a situation that you've known about for a while, and something clicked in me over the last couple weeks, and it's not that I don't care about somebody, it's just that something just went, okay. And then another situation kind of came in, and it's something that it's like, wow, that just really happened, and it's a new opportunity. It's just like that, just like that, just like that. And so I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And so there's just so many cool things that when you let go, it's like Nicole said, it opens up the doorway or a place for something new. And I know that's super hard. And trust me, I've been practicing this now, 20 years, and when really, really seriously practicing it now since 2006, and so there's been so many things where my mind goes into this. I'm never going to do this again. This is exactly what it's going to be, or this is the person I'm going to be with, or I know for a fact this is what's going to happen. And the other thing is I want you guys to understand, like, people that come into your lives, like, we can think, like, let's talk about like soulmates just for a second. People can be your soulmate, and you were supposed to be together, and you don't end up together, and we have to be okay with that. Does that make sense? Like, so, I mean, because
why wouldn't you end up together?
Free will. Does that, so like so somebody is supposed to be with you, like maybe in the life between lives, you said, I'm going to be with this person, you and I are going to be together at this point in our lives, and it's going to be amazing and stuff like that. We do have some karmic things we got to clear, but I need you to understand that both parties, both souls, still have free will. And so, and the ego in that self has free will. Now, to me, in my own practice, true free will comes when I let go and I allow my soul, my spirit to guide. And so when I'm in alignment with that, the body, mind, and spirit, then I'm completely in this great space of, hey, I'm now truly in my free will. But the ego can still override that and have free will in its sense, because it's not in alignment with the body, mind, and spirit. And that's something we have to understand, and that's not exactly easy for people to grasp onto. But and then what happens is it's just like the ego's paddling against the stream, and then all these things keep on happening until they learn it. And what will happen is the universe will go like this and like keep on hitting you until you see it. And sometimes people don't see it for years or their entire life, and then they just have to repeat it over again. And it's okay, because the universe has infinite amounts of time. This physical flesh doesn't necessarily have infinite amounts of time, but our soul has infinite amounts of time. So it's called a repeat program. It's called reincarnation, and it's
Yeah, I'm breaking free of that cycle this time around.
yeah, I
I've
understand.
decided this is my last trip.
And it's not always an easy thing to let go. And I don't care what spiritual teacher you are or how enlightened you think you are, there is a lesson out there that you're going to have trouble letting go of. Unless we're going to go sit on a mountaintop for 40 years, or go wander in the wilderness for 40 years, or 40 days at the Bodhi tree, or 49 days at the Bodhi tree, like the Buddha did. We don't have that kind of time. We live in a culture to where we have to go to work and do all those other things. So it's a lifetime practice. And
if that's not your path, it's not your path for a reason. Your lessons that you've chosen are not meant to take you there. Like those aren't the lessons for you in this lifetime. And
yeah, absolutely.
Everyone just also remember, like, Earth is one of the hardest planets to ascend from what I understand. So, as ascension is like a planetary process, and it's one of the hardest ones. So, if you're here, then you've signed up for something, and you've been given the opportunity to have incredible spiritual growth. So, always keep that in mind too when you're faced with the hardships that this time around, that anyone who did make it here, like, you wouldn't have made it here if you weren't able to do it. So
yeah, and there's just so that's a compliment in itself, that you're able to say, hey, I made it here, and I know I got this.
Yeah.
And so I can definitely go into this life, and I can overcome it. Not overcome it. I can gain the lessons and grow through it. So just know that like Nicole said, you can handle this. You're good.
Yeah.
And
with all these energy waves coming in too, be gentle with yourself. Like, really listen to your body. If you need to sleep. Sleep is so important to the ascension process, because when we're receiving the codes through these light waves, in order for them to activate, we need to sleep. So we receive the light, and then the activation happens through the sleeping process. And so the sleep is actually a really important part, and that's why we feel the need to sleep so much, so that we can start activating more of our DNA as these codes come through. So that's really important to honor that.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Elena. How are you? My friend Elena Jones is watching, so I'd say hi to her.
Hi, Elena.
So what else will we talk about? I mean, this is a pretty cool topic. May is coming in. By the way, if you haven't registered, I just registered for going on the cruise, the Waves of Light, and it's Waves of Light.
So, Jer, actually wanted to talk to you about that. Would you, we talked about Chichen Itza as being like an activation spot, but I'm wondering, like, I think you said you've been to Tulum?
I have not been to Tulum.
Because I'm feeling like it's got to be Tulum.
Let's do it. Honestly, Tulum would be better, and here's the reason why, is because Chichen Itza is a 2.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
And you do not get a lot to.
No. I don't want to be I don't want to spend half a day in a vehicle. Also, no, go.
That is hysterical. We just said also at the same time. So the other thing is on Cozumel, just so you know, there is San Gervasi, which is another Mayan ruins, and it was kind of like the Jerusalem of the Mayan culture, and we don't even have to go on a boat. from the ship. It's very easy to get to, and that particular excursion I think is a little less expensive than Tulum. But it's just throwing that out there.
Okay, so let's choose Tulum, because I'm feeling strongly guided to Tulum right now, and we'll do an activation. But also, anyone who comes with us, because we'll be on a shared either van or bus or whatever it is that takes us there, right? We can do some group healing while we're in transport there. We can do like a roundtable discussion. We'll like capitalize on our time, so it'll be really good.
Absolutely. So I'm going to put this in the comments on my Facebook, the website, but I would recommend anybody that would like to go. This is a cruise that has already been set. It's called wavesoflight.org, and I'm going to drop this in the comments here. Elena, you need to come on that ship with me. You are the great Elena Jones.
And
Elena's an amazing
one of
healer.
the questions that's been coming up a lot, I've been getting emails about it, is a lot of people have been wanting to come, but they're just not sure if they can get the time off work yet. And so for all of you who are still wondering about that, there is a cancellation policy. Royal Caribbean will give you full refund up until I think 75 days before the actual cruise sets sail, and then from there on I think it goes to 50%, and then 25%, and then nothing. I think within 30 days. So
I know how you can get around that, by the way, with your job. Tell them it's your religion.
Oh, well, there you go.
It's true. I mean, it's a spiritual empowerment conference. So, like, tell them it's your religion, and then
so
you need the time off.
Just take your $100, sign up, and know that you can get, other than the deposit, everything's refundable. So, and then of course you can go on. There's like five payments after that. So I think it's a total of 6 payments, and so it's affordable, and we've got some fun stuff planned, and it'll be great. It'll be a lot of fun. We're all going to become one big frequency family.
Yay! I am all about it.
Yeah.
It's going to be so much fun. And this is something that I've been dreaming about for years, doing a cruise, and with a bunch of cool people that are conscious, and going to workshops, or hearing speakers and stuff like that. And it's happening. So kudos to Nicole and her team, because they're doing a fantastic job. And of course, it's coming out of Tampa, so I'm really not upset at all, because then I don't have to, fly so far away. I'm like right here. But the cruise capital is Florida, especially for the Caribbean. Then we just got to do one, Nicole. I was just actually looking up the other day. It's a 10 days in Egypt. And part of that has a Nile River cruise for 2 nights. So you go down, and I think it is in the Luxor with the Nile River cruise, and you go to the Great Pyramids and everything else. I said,
I definitely got to get myself over to Egypt. That has been calling me since I was a kid. That was my first. That was my first calling, and I knew, which I found out through my Akashic records, that's my origin here on Earth, is Egypt. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense, because Egypt has so much energy, and it was a part of Atlantis. So it's like, and there is a whole bunch of evidence that's show that the Atlantis stretched from where Babylon was, which is modern day Iraq, all the way even as far as the Mississippi River, where the mound builders are at, where now it's Cahokia Mounds just outside of St. Louis are at, which I was at in December. And then they go all the way down into Florida and down into Central America, and even as far as like Machu Picchu. Atlantis was huge. I don't think anybody realizes how big it was. And then it actually, around the time of, why can't I think, the Greek philosopher that talks about, not Aristotle, not Socrates, Socrates' student, Plato.
when Plato talks about Atlantis and his legends and his story, by that time Atlantis had shrunk down into a very small, you know, not as large as it was at its greatness. And so Egypt was a part of that, and Egypt has the remnants of Atlantis and, you know, and that type of technology. And so there's a whole bunch of speculation about Atlantis. And I just want to add this up because I don't want to get too far into this, but there is pyramids in Bosnia, and there's an archaeologist that is really uncovering it. In Bosnia, they basically they just thought they were mountains, but he's proven that they were pyramids. And the other cool thing he's in Egypt, you cannot go above the pyramids and measure the frequency. You can't even get up there. And what he's proving is that there's literally this massive frequency that emanates out of the top of the pyramid. And so they're really not tombs. They were like areas where you could actually sit where they consider the tomb of the king. And you could sit there, and then this energy would just be flowing through this, and it would illuminate you and open you up or awaken you. And so there is so much about the pyramids that we're not being told. And then even in the Mayan ruins, there's 2,000 Mayan ruins in Mexico, and they only allow you to about 50 of them. And so it tells me that they're trying to hide secrets, you know, not to get too much into conspiracies, but they're hiding secrets that we need to understand. And there's so much in the mysteries that are teaching us, you know, that all of us could use, or we could use to help illuminate our minds. But there's an old age concept that these secrets need to be hidden, and only a certain few should be the ones that they deem the ones that have the right to see this. But no, these are the rights of everybody, and everybody has that right. All souls have the right to that kind of knowledge, and there's no reason for us to be hiding these mysteries. Don't need to be mysteries anymore. They need to be shared.
Mm-hmm.
So,
mm-hmm.
But
and you know, the Mayans were those who were able to escape Atlantis, at least the fall. And
yes,
anyone who feels a very strong connection to the Mayan culture or Atlantis, this is going to be a great cruise because we'll be in that region. What book was that? I didn't see it.
The Mayan Factor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, by Jose Argelis, I guess is
yeah.
the name. The Path Beyond Technology. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I just started reading that one the other day. So
yeah.
I can guarantee you, I don't want to guarantee, but I'm pretty sure if you come on this cruise and go to what we're going to be doing, you will have some kind of huge shift in your consciousness.
Yeah.
I've not gone, and I've done many retreats, and I've been the facilitator of a lot of retreats, and I've included everybody that participated, including myself, had huge shifts in consciousness. And with this kind of group, that we're going to be building this group intention and then going to Tulum, where it already has a tremendous amount of energy, where we're bringing that energy there. I mean, we're going to have a tremendous amount of shifts in consciousness for all of us. And, you know, and as we do this as a group, let's say that there's 100 people there, and we all shift in consciousness. Guess what? That frequency goes out in all of other consciousness. And then guess what? You're a part of healing all of consciousness, the planet. So that's pretty exceptional.
Yeah.
So,
and when I was interviewing Marina Jacoby, who's one of our keynotes, she channeled, because I asked her like if there was any messages for anyone who's going to be coming on the conference, and it was said that those who are attending are going to receive a huge frequency attunement that is going to shift them dramatically, and they'll be able to leave and take that frequency with them, and that's going to affect everyone around you when you leave. So you're going to be carrying that higher frequency with you. So it's going to be beautiful. There's just so much. And of course Eric Rains is going to be on there, and I just love how he teaches us how to move our energy through our body and really become in tune with what's going on, empowers people to remove any sort of implant or parasitic entity that might be trying to infringe upon our sovereignty, and knowing how to take your power back, and you'll be able to work with all of us and to do that. So there's a lot of tools and skills like that we're all going to come away with. That's going to be amazing, and just support, because we all go through, when you go through these shifts, sometimes, especially like when going to Tulum, if anyone's got like a strong connection, sometimes like emotions come out that you're not even prepared for. And it's just nice to have people who understand that around you and support you. And we've got quite a few psychics coming on with us, so there may be some insights that will be available to you, and all of that. So, and we're all trying to work from the heart and offer that guidance for everyone involved. So it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, it definitely is going to be an amazing trip. I'm super excited about it. Then we've got to start thinking about the next one after that.
Yeah.
I'm messing with you now.
Yeah, I know.
She's like, right now, Jared, I'm just trying to get this one going.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but I'm enjoying it.
It is a lot of work. It is a lot of work. But when you get done, like I know the conferences I've done, at the end, you just kind of look at them like, wow, that just happened. I just really just put that together. And so Elena, as well as she's watching, she and I put on Celebrating Infinite Oneness in 2014 at Sacred Lands here in St. Petersburg. And I wouldn't have been able to do it without her, because she just, she did all the logistical stuff that I'm not really good at. And I got like the website built and all that other kind of stuff. But she really just handled all the details. And it's really a lot of work. And you have to do it with another person. You cannot do it by yourself. Because if you do it by yourself, it's just too much.
It's too much. So. It's too much. Oh, and Monica announced today, who's also going to be on the cruise, she's going to be giving away copies of her new book that will be coming out to everyone who comes. So I'm hoping to have my second book done by then. So if so, then I'm going to also give away copies of my book to everyone who comes on the cruise. So I'm really excited about that. And
yeah, I should have mine done by then too. So I'll probably give out some more.
Yeah. And oh gosh. Oh, and to anyone who's watching, I just want to let you know I'm going to be doing a webinar very soon on the masculine and the feminine. I've been getting so much like in the comments, in my emails, about more stuff to do with the masculine and feminine, and I think it's an important topic for us all to understand as we try to bring balance within, understanding those energies, because there's a lot of misinformation out there on what it means to be masculine and what it means to be feminine, and that we encompass all of that. So I'm going to be doing a webinar very soon. I'm going to release it, and I'm actually going to do it free. So it's donation. So if you want to donate, you can, but I'm going to make it available to everyone to join. And I'm hoping to get that out by the end of May. So stay tuned for that.
Good. I'll actually be putting on a webinar as well. And I think I don't know if I talked to you about this. I know I talked about Dee Dee about it. I'm going to be giving it away for free, only because it's going to be a pilot. And then I will be I'm looking for people to not only give me some feedback, but also be interactive in it. And it's going to be what I was talking about earlier about activating the light body and the symbolism within spiritual texts, and how even in biblical and Sumerian and Egyptian texts, they are telling us how to do this. It's really telling us how to reach enlightenment and do it within ourselves and stuff like that. So I'll be doing a webinar on that, and I'll be giving some insight on how to bring that kind of peace and do that kind of work within yourself. So it's a study I've been doing for a while. And it's actually the healing work I do with people. I just had not been ready to talk about it, and then I was asked to speak at the Metaphysical Society, and then they had just my friend Vicky, that is part of the Metaphysical Society, and said, "Why don't you talk about this?" And I was like, "Oh, you know how you're when you're not sure of something." And that's one of the things I was talking about earlier. Is I actually 5 journals, all this research, and I was just hesitant. I'm like, well, how much more do you need to study, Jarrett? Just start, getting out there and start talking about.
Sometimes you just gotta start doing it.
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing a webinar on it, and I am going to do it. I'm asking people for, that would like to be a part of that webinar, and I'm looking for people that will ask questions and be engaging and stuff like that. No, you don't have to be, you won't be filmed or you won't be heard. It'll all be done through chat, the engagement. So I'll be doing it in a Zoom webinar format, similar to what me and Nicole are on right now, but we're broadcasting over YouTube and Facebook, but it's through Zoom. And so it'll be something similar to that. So I'm pretty excited about that, and I'll be announcing more of that. And also probably in the next month, I will be releasing out a brand new website. And I've already started working on that. Thank you, Nicole, for giving me the referral over to Squarespace. And I'm moving everything from my website from Blogger to Squarespace because I've been wanting a more professional image, and not necessarily being. I find Blogger to be kind of very unuser friendly sometimes. And I'm not really a blogger. I've just used it as a site to post stuff on, as I enjoyed it. So, I'll be announcing that and releasing that out soon. So,
awesome, good stuff. Can't wait to see it.
It'll be really cool. I'm like really having fun with it, but I'm just doing a little bits of time. That's one thing I always struggled with this for a long time because of working a day job. I'd try to get everything done, and I'd sit there and work, and then I'd burn myself out. And so this time I've been really careful about not adding too much on, and even having to back out of things because I have to focus on things that are priorities. And one of the things that's a priority is that I'm a public speaker, and that's what I really enjoy. And I like writing my books. And so everything else, like my YouTube videos and, even the cruise that we were working on together, I had to realize that those are things that I can do. But when I'm not working a 40-hour-a-week job, those kind of thing, or when I'm not just starting off and, I have so many projects in that 40-hour-a-week job. These are things that one of the lessons that all of us need to learn is that, that's fine. Like we can do things, but maybe it's not the correct timing for you to do it. And so you have to have enough courage and discernment to say, I can do just little bits at a time, and also not overextend myself because, each place and time we have a certain amount of things going on. Right now is a very busy time for me at work, and I'm really enjoying it. But I'll give you an example. Today, I'm teaching a new hire class, and I had to do a makeup class for another thing that I was doing last week for people that missed it last week. I'm planning a trip to New York. I've got to redesign a training to take to New York. Plus, they added one more thing onto me. And then I've got another project that I have to get done in 6 weeks. So there's just a lot of things. And I'm a really good project manager. And so, except for the fact there's a certain amount to where that's a lot going on to where my outside business, it has to come more in the time that I have the time for and the energy. And so, but I still have to work on that as well. So those are things that I just want you guys out there, because a lot of you do this as well. You try to overwhelm yourself with too much, and you don't want to burn yourself out. Pace yourself. It's okay to do that. So.
Yeah.
So. Yay.
Awesome. Well, good stuff.
It's just good stuff. So I guess we'll end it off here a few minutes earlier, and I think we're doing pretty good here. Wavesoflight.org, guys. Wavesoflight.org. Go check it out.
Yeah.
And many blessings. Oh, and Nicole's website, inflexiblememe.com, right? Go check out Inflexible Me Academy. But there's a link on her site as well. And check that out. And then my site is jeremymcdonald.net. So
yeah.